That's on the left shoulder. Roadwork 70 westbound at 141. Left exit, right exit closed there. Big lane closures to watch out for. And also roadwork on 6440 west at Winghaven. Watch out there.
Plenty of heat, plenty of humidity under partly sunny skies as we go through our Friday afternoon, the last Friday of June. Couple of thunderstorms around, a little bit of an uptick in that action, but certainly not for everybody. 94 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, quite humid. Couple of thunderstorms here and there, 75. The weekend, really more of the same. Saturday and Sunday, partly sunny, hot, humid. Couple of thunderstorms around each day, 93 degrees. Temperatures will try to get slightly cooler early next week. It's going to be a struggle. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
And we do have some thunderstorms across the St. Louis metro right now. Taking a look at the radar, there is a strong cell just to the north of Florissant. It's raining in Florissant, but the heaviest part is just to the south of Old Jamestown, headed toward West Alton. Also from South Roxana to Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville to Collinsville, there's some heavy rain. Also over mid-county from St. Anne to Overland, University City, Clayton to Richmond Heights, Maplewood. And also in West County, cell over Clarkson Valley, another cell over Frontenac. It's 87 degrees now downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret at Eamon Gantner and Capriano. I was suddenly widowed at 41. We had a will. Do you? Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Choice of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely on advertising.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy friggin' Friday to everybody. Got a little rain downtown.
A little bit.
It's kind of nice.
It's very nice.
Cool things off. Pump that humidity up. How bad is it on a day like this when it rains and your skin gets a little bit chilly? Like it's Pride Fest down here this weekend. We're watching everyone scurry around and you're just getting soaked. And then 5 minutes later, the sun's back out and you're just miserable.
You're boiling.
You're just boiling. Good to be back. I'm Dave.
Hi,
Dave Glover Show. This is Rage. This
Hello.
is Wheels. Andrew is our fourth, and he is in Chicago seeing a K-pop concert. So that's all you need to know about him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our boss, he was asking where he was. He knew he was out, but where is he? I'm like, well, he's in Chicago at a K-pop concert. And Steve goes, what's K-pop? And I'm like, well, it's just pop music, but it's all Korean acts. He's like, huh. I said, you should go look it up. He's like, it's a big deal. I'm like, well, they sell out stadiums. I mean, it's Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If you're playing a big stadium, you're probably doing all right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You didn't know what K-pop was.
I wouldn't have other than Andrew explaining it.
Mhm.
Like, when I first got on the show, I would never have known it existed.
Wheels just came up with a brilliant idea without even knowing it.
Yeah.
He was complaining, looking at the stream, how giant his forehead is.
I mean, it's
and
it's a
I told him,
five-head.
look at your neighbor to your left, and you're gonna see a forehead, brother. And then he said, I'm gonna sell it out for advertising. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
It's just a big sticker.
Yes, we can do that for the stream. Hell, I could have more than one client at a time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
could
can
have-
I get in on this? I don't exactly have a small forehead myself.
Neither of us were gonna say a word.
No, you could have a. Yeah, you probably need just slightly smaller sign than me, but yeah, you could fit one there.
I would buy that.
Oh,
I
man.
would if I were an advertiser and I could buy one of our heads. I would do it.
The novelty.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going around bragging? Yeah, I got Glover's forehead.
Brought to you by the Gelman team.
When you're doing the live,
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
lean into the
you
camera.
just change it. Just get a little sticky thing at thegelmanteam.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
man.
Yeah, I could put everything on my head.
I mean, in that way, I'm probably a lot like a NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
If somebody's going to sponsor it, I'm going to wear it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You got
Not going to tattoo a sponsor though.
you got plenty of room.
I know.
Not on your forehead, just on your body.
Well, I mean, there's a lot on the forehead too, but yeah, I mean, right now I'm like taking up the whole damn screen.
Do you know what size hat you wear?
Yeah, 7 and 3/8.
That sounds big.
No, it's normal, average-ish.
Really?
Yeah. It's 7 and a quarter, maybe. It's somewhere in there. It's around that 7 and a quarter, 7 3/8.
Mike from the Bud Light team, pardon me, was asking me what size hat I wore, and I'm like, and I immediately felt sheepish because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that something most men know?
I don't think most men
most men
do.
in the 40s did because everyone was wearing like a fedora or something.
I mean, ball players know because when you're playing college ball or high school ball, whatever, you wear the one that fits. You pick one out that fits. And if you're into fitted hats, like I bet Ranji knows. Ranji's into hats, and he's got a lot of fitted hats. Yeah. So if you're into fitted hats like ball caps, you'll know what size it is.
We have Kyle filling in for Andrew here. Kyle, did you hear that I'm playing old man baseball again?
I did hear that.
Yeah. Joining the Bud Light team, going straight to the top.
Nice. When does it start?
A week from Tuesday.
Sweet.
So they're about halfway through their season, and they needed someone to pick them up, and they went recruit. No, actually, they saw my name and knew it from the radio, and they picked me up.
They need a big hitter.
They need a big bat.
Yeah.
They need a big forehead.
Yep. They got some logos. They need to
They'll
get
write
out there.
They'll write how many outs there are.
You'll
on
have
my
like
head.
a Bud Light sticker.
Okay, now it's not funny.
Took it too far, Wheels.
Wait.
Who's the king of doing that? Is like when you're ripping and then Andrew will be like, and slam dunk. And it's always like, oh, ouch. Like that one hurt.
Is it maybe it's just a guy thing, but it's definitely a team sports thing where you always just go to the point where everybody goes, all right, that's too far. Like it just keeps escalating until somebody goes too far.
But it needs one of two things. It needs someone to go too far or someone to not go far enough.
Yeah.
Because
it kind
when
of
it's
peters
like
out.
riff,
Yeah.
good line, funny thing, and then someone's like pasta.
Yeah.
And you're like,
like, okay, it's over.
I had a girlfriend like that.
Just ruined it.
Not going to say who it was. Now they're all going to think it was them, but she was so beautiful, but she was terrible at a happy hour. This is like a Seinfeld thing.
Gotcha.
But I run in a pretty fast group when it comes to humor, and she would always be the cymbal at the end of the drum roll, and it was always very clanky. It all just like wince a little bit, like
It's always at the end like zippity doo.
Yeah, exactly. And flippy doo, flip that hooker brody day. You're just like, oh, okay.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah,
We've all been the clank every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's worse.
You're not playing the game right if you're never the clank.
The best is when you're the clink on a radio show with thousands of people listening.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're just having one of those clink days. It's like, dude, I cannot pull myself out of this one.
I had the clankiest day ever on Wednesday. I talked about it Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit, but I didn't sleep well. I didn't eat anything all day. And my show prep was for crap. And then everyone was a little bit off, and you were gone.
I was late.
Oh,
And so it was just
Car
like,
repair.
yeah, someone said on the stream, which hurt my feelings. Like, I didn't realize how quiet it is without a Wheeler.
Well, I don't know if that's more of a shot at me. But it's also true. So I accept that. Everything's quieter without me. Rock concerts are quieter without me.
Yeah, I put up a bunch of bricks on Wednesday. Then you just like, I can either not shoot or I can just keep shooting bricks.
Yeah.
It's never going to go in if you don't shoot it.
Yeah, you don't have the option to not shoot.
No, that's the
That's
worst
right.
part.
Dave, you're our Allen
It's
Iverson,
the
man.
worst part.
Your job is to shoot.
I am.
I'm the Dennis Rodman.
After 25 years, I'm pretty comfortable with silence on the air.
Mhm.
I think this is going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn. I'm not. I'm just tooting the horn of OGs, like actors. I think what separates a great actor and an okay actor is their comfort with silence. You think of like an Anthony Hopkins or, one of the Morgan Freeman or one of those kind of guys.
Yeah.
They will use silence to their advantage as opposed to just filling all the space up.
Yeah. Same for the great play-by-play people.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Let the moment
Perfect
breathe a little
analogy.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's harder on radio, though. See, like
Yeah.
on a movie, like you're still looking at it. and you can see what's happening there. And on a play-by-play, you can hear the crowd, and you can, if you're, it depends on TV or radio, but even on radio, sometimes that pause is really effective when you're just hearing the crowd and the fireworks or whatever. On the radio, it's just nothing.
Yeah, and there's
I hate that nothing.
There's an alarm that goes off if you're quiet for too long. Like, you're pretty heavily encouraged to not let the silence linger too long.
Jamie, no worries at all. When you said that it's quieter without Wheeler, I just took that the wrong. I didn't take it the wrong way. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
I just internalized it because I knew how bad I was sucking. I'm like, you're right.
I mean, it's dead accurate. It's just part of the ripping we were just talking about.
Matthew asking when my first Bud Light game is. It's a week from Tuesday, July 8th.
All right. You got time to work.
That's right, Coach.
Get some work in.
Yes, we do.
You ready?
You're like Mickey.
So Monday, we're going to run stairs.
Great.
Then you're going to chase the chicken.
Okay, perfect.
And then if you catch it, we'll go to batting
chase,
practice.
Not choke. So,
chase, yeah.
Okay,
no,
good.
chase.
All right.
And no animal cruelty here.
It is cruel, too.
You catch him, you get to take batting practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. With other chickens. Here comes the chicken. What do you think of this? So Tower T is the closest batting cage to me, and they have a deal. And you know how I don't like doing things I don't know how they work?
Mm-hmm.
Like
self-checkout.
Yes. I don't know how to get my tokens. I don't know how you say next game is mine. I've done it, but not for 25, 30 years. And you can also rent a lane out for an hour for $40. That's not bad. But I don't want to be the goober that, like, they're expecting a whole team and I show up with my bat and my batting gloves.
Won't happen if you go during the day.
Okay.
Nobody's going to be, I mean, nobody's got parents to drive them or, like whatever. That people are at work. If it's grown men, like, most people are at work. I don't think you have to worry. But I would also, just forgetting the occupancy thing, I would see if there's a half hour.
There's not.
An hour's a lot.
No, I definitely wouldn't fill an hour.
That's a lot of swings.
But if I could just go in there and be by myself and not have someone pressuring me from behind, that's
true.
Okay with me.
No, that's true.
That's cool.
True. And you can just wrap up if you want.
I've got a half hour of bunting to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably a good way to not wear yourself out because you'll be tired at the end of that.
That's going to be my thing.
That's a good workout right there.
Bunting.
Nice. You're like, we're so glad we got this guy on the team. He bunts so much.
He's bunting again.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would it leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. If your vehicle is less less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection on the drivetrain, AC, and more. Get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value free.
Call for your fast free quote today. 800-310-0219. 800-310-0219.
There is a very good reason why Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. That's a tagline, but it's also the truth. This is Debbie Monterey. And just a quick story. There's a fence that I walk past almost every day. It's about half the age of my Chesterfield Fence and Deck fence. And it has been deteriorating rapidly. They are having a new fence installed this week because it did not last. That's where Chesterfield Fence and Deck offers you such a great value for your money, because it is always the best materials installed by professionally trained experts who are on staff at Chesterfield Fence and Deck and know what they're doing. So if you're going to spend the money on a deck, a patio, a pergola, a sunroom, a screen room, a fence, a gate, whatever it is, know that Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll take 20% off your next outdoor project. ChesterfieldFence.com.
Spring into a new home with amazing savings at TR Hughes. Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes, and we are currently offering half off up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs on brand new to-be-built homes at select TR Hughes communities. That's right, half up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs. Visit trhughes.com for details.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
Total Information AM, weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 123. Kind of a mixed milky sky out there downtown. At least there's a little bit of a breeze. That's good. I think the weekend is going to be more like upper 80s, low 90s, then upper 80s next week. Dave Murray will be here in a couple of hours to let us know for sure. But a little bit of relief coming, which I'll take it. I know the thing is like, well, it's still 90 degrees. But to me, the difference between 90 that feels like 95 and 95 that feels like 103, like very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I got bunting work. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
right?
I mean, it takes some work.
Bunting doesn't just happen.
No, you got to practice that.
Got to bunt.
Bunting ain't easy.
Speaking of baseball, hello to everyone who I met at the game on Wednesday. They put Phoebe and I up on the Jumbotron, and it was really cool, and met a lot of people on my way out. So very nice.
That's
nice
cool.
of them
Good
to do
picture
that.
of you guys.
It was great,
Really
wasn't
good
it?
picture.
It was great. Phoebe looked so cute.
Does she
Yeah.
like being like a center of attention thing, or does that bother her, like the picture on the scoreboard or whatever?
No, she loves that.
Okay.
Like, this is the second time this year we've been on a Jumbotron, which is, again, making me believe I'm in a simulation, because who makes a Jumbotron twice? But when we were on the Jumbotron at KC at Arrowhead Stadium for the KU game, that was just out of nowhere as far as we know. And then this one, the Cardinals had told me, like, hey, we're going to do a little thing with you between, the first and second inning. So it was cool. It was fun. But I was a little salty because I was in Big Mac land. And the way it came about is I was saying I was going to be in Big Mac land. Cardinals listened to the show. They heard it. They said, hey, we want to do a thing with you with the Big Macs. I'm like, right on. And so right when they said it was going to happen, there's all these cheers going on, and I look to my right, and there are people holding up giant Big Macs. And I'm like, these effers. And I brought my
Big Mac.
brought my daughter, and I promised her all this glory, and suddenly someone else's Big Macs are up there, and I'm like, oh, rubble. And I even texted Steve, my boss. I'm like, I don't know, someone else did the Big Mac thing. Yeah, it took me I went from 0 to Essie in like
I'm gonna tell Steve.
2 seconds.
Call him the boss.
Do you have Mr. DeWitt's number? And then I hear like, oh, in the stands, Dave Glover from the Dave Glover Show and his daughter Phoebe, and I'm like,
Oh, so you got the full shout out.
Hi, everyone.
You
Happy
just
to
weren't
be
a
here.
ceremonial burger. You were the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't just a ceremonial button burger. I got no time for holding up a paper burger. No, I was all sullen.
They should have put the big M. Like we were talking about.
No kidding.
It would be so great. I'd do it.
Well, they're probably listening now, so
Yeah.
I would do it.
Yeah, me too.
We should both do it.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun.
Selling out our foreheads for money.
They could just tape those big burgers right to our heads.
Oh, yeah. You could do that.
I have the dry erase marker here. I mean, we could do the billboard thing like your ad here to maybe inspire some folks.
For rent.
Yeah.
Just use the large font so make sure they can read it on my forehead.
Rent me.
for lease.
Now this will happen. Oh, you know who else I saw is my good friend Learn from Casey and the Riz
very
Show,
cool.
and her beautiful husband Tim.
Awesome. Man, Learn used to come on the show all the time when
All
I
the
first
time.
started, and she was always one of my favorite guests to
Yeah,
have on.
I love those guys.
She just has a really great energy.
You know how I'm always saying, if I didn't do this for a living, I would want to do this. I found my perfect job, and right now, a 5-year-old holds it. So there's this TikTok of this 5-year-old who lives on a farm, and he has a train that he pulls with a little ATV.
Okay.
And right behind him is a fake ATV that his 3-year-old sister rides on. Then you have like 6 or 7 cars behind it, train cars that are like wagons, and he hauls bunnies and chickens around, and they just sit there. They just like he'll pick them up, and then before he drives, I feel insane right now. Before he drives, he kisses everyone
Aw.
and then kisses his sister, and he's got a little pocket knife on a belt. He's 5, and he gets in it and he just drives him around, and
He's a little man.
he's a little man. He's more of a man than I am.
He's taking care of the whole farm.
And those rabbits and chickens don't jump out.
He's not button. No, they're having the time of their
So
lives.
they like it. They're like, woo.
They're getting kisses and rides.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman.
From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, right perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM. Your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Dave Murray's forecast is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home or business. Big summer savings with 3 rooms clean starting at just $129, $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the Dave Glover KMOX special.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Hearing from some friends that it's pouring around St. Louis. It's a little dark outside the KMOX studios, but we had some rain about an hour ago. It's nice. It's nice. We'll take it.
Nice.
Brad Young, attorney at law, joins us now. Hello, Brad.
Hey, Dave. I thought you were going to introduce me as speaking of people with big foreheads for billboards.
Yeah.
Let's go to Brad Young.
Join the club, Brad. You and I can corner this market.
Oh. Available for rent. Absolutely.
The two of us together for like a law firm with 2 names.
A law firm with 6 names. You know.
Oh, man. Okay, so as I understand it, it's the last day of the Supreme Court session, and so they're putting opinions out, and there's one I'm really interested in, which was the president's challenge to birthright citizenship, and as often, it seems that they took a procedural way out.
Yeah, they did, and we have to set the table because this could be complex. The issue with birthright citizenship is this. President Trump took the position that the 14th Amendment does not grant children of illegal immigrants the right to be U.S. citizens, even though the 14th Amendment clearly says that they are. And so one judge issued an injunction that affected the whole country. So the issue at the Supreme Court really wasn't about birthright citizenship. And as we saw today, they didn't even decide that issue. The issue was, can a single federal court judge issue an injunction that impacts the entire United States? And the court held 6-3 today that judges do not have that power.
Is that a surprise to you, or does that line up pretty well with law school?
No, that doesn't surprise me. And it's interesting. Amy Coney Barrett wrote the opinion, and she taught, I believe, at Harvard, teaching about civil procedure. So, she knows, but she really goes back, and this is a fundamental question here. And that is the courts, other than the Supreme Court, they're governed by Congress. And if you look at the Judiciary Act of 1789, it gives the equity power to the district courts, but doesn't give them equity power over the entire United States. Only the Supreme Court has that. So this decision wasn't all that surprising. I know people were wanting an opinion on the birthright issue itself, which I think is really a easy issue to resolve. In fact, the Supreme Court already dealt with this right after the Civil War regarding the children of Chinese immigrants who were born in this country. So to me, that's an easy issue, but this is a procedural resolution to a big question.
And Brad, if is the president just wanting to stop it in its tracks, or is it a little more nuanced than that? And is it just the children of illegal immigrants? Like, what is it that he actually wants to see happen?
Well, it's a bigger issue. It's really if I could summarize it into a twofold issue. Number one, people who are children of immigrants don't have legal status as citizens. And number two, if you are here in this country illegally, then you somehow don't have due process rights, and you can be deported without having any sort of a hearing. And those two issues, when you put those two issues together, I think the Trump administration's wrong on both of those issues because 14th Amendment, as we've already talked about, makes people here are citizens, and everyone's entitled to due process. No matter why you're here or how long you're here, you're entitled to due process before you're stuck on a plane and flown to El Salvador.
Can you imagine, though, Brad, if Trump caught a flyer at the Supreme Court and won on both of those things, the immediate change it would have to immigration?
Well, it would be the impacts would really go beyond immigration. I mean, the impacts would go to even the whole nature of our justice system, which is everyone gets a right to a hearing. I mean, that's what separates a democracy from a dictatorship. If you're in Russia and you make Putin mad, as we saw with Navalny, either you're thrown in prison or you have to eat uranium. And so this really separates us from dictatorships, and it's a bedrock of our democracy.
And I see that Gavin Newsom has filed a lawsuit against Fox News for $787 million, which is a shout out to the Dominion case, because that's what the Dominion case was. And he is alleging, and let me set this one up and you see if I'm correct, because it seemed pretty like eye-rolly, that he said that he had a call with the president. The president said it was on this day. He said, no, it wasn't. It was on another day. And Jesse Waters was accusing him of lying about it. And then it turns out that it has a lot to do with time zones. And it was in the middle of the night. And in his time zone, it was one day. In the president's time zone, it was another day. I mean, it just seems like, my Lord.
It's ridiculous. And the legal basis for this lawsuit is flimsy at best. And there's really no justification. But this is how politicians, right and left, this is not a partisan position, but they try to use litigation for political purposes. And that's what this is. This is allowing Gavin Newsom to say, I'm taking it to Trump. I'm sticking it to Trump. Legally, this lawsuit has no merit. Everybody here is a public figure. Newsom, Trump, Waters, they're all public figures. The legal standard under New York Times versus Sullivan is not going to allow this lawsuit to go forward. And really, if you look at these companion cases where Trump is getting money from these networks, it's really only because, not that he's legally entitled to it, it's only because that he's the president and they're trying not to run afoul of the president. Yeah. So the only way this lawsuit by Gavin Newsom has any water is if it, sorry, pun intended, with Jesse Waters. But the only reason this has any water at all to it is if Gavin Newsom becomes the next president of the United States, this lawsuit's still ongoing. Maybe Fox wants to settle in order to not tick off the next president.
Didn't even think about that. Talking to attorney Brad Young, who is a consistent contributor to KMOX and does the shows here every now and then. Brad, let me spring one on you that I didn't prep you for. But Andrew Bailey versus Sheriff Montgomery, what do you make of this whole kerfuffle?
Well, this one's actually, some of this is pretty easy. And I'll tell you why. Missouri has an anti-nepotism provision in the Missouri Constitution. It's very simple. You cannot hire anybody that is within, I think it's the 5 lines of congenuity or something like, I forgot the exact word. But in this instance, though, he hired his brother-in-law. So even if you look at all these other issues about him buying himself a brand new car and buying gold-plated badges and refusing to haul people around as he's required to do about inmates, even if you cut all that out, the fact that he violated the Missouri Constitution, which requires them to immediately forfeit their office, I think legally that's a pretty easy issue for A.G. Bailey.
Okay, very good. That's Brad Young. We appreciate it, pal. Thanks.
My pleasure.
I wish I was smart as him. And I do covet his forehead, too.
Yeah.
It's a dome.
Yeah.
It's a good
It's
one.
a good one. We got a lot of domes around here.
Do we? Who else got a dome?
No, I just mean like a lot of poster space on the foreheads.
Mm.
You know, it's so funny that we're talking about this because I just saw a video, I think this morning or last night, and it was about accentuating your big forehead as a lady.
Really?
Yeah. And it talked about how you can break it down. If your face is, if your forehead is like a third of your face, that's a good thing. And then you have like the middle third and then your chin. And it was just interesting. And I'm watching it like, all right, I'm going to take notes.
Hey, that's pretty
like
close.
I said, I don't have a small forehead.
And that.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
When I go in for chemical peels, right? So they have to use 2 kits because I have 2 faces. So I have my face, then I have my forehead.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always delightful for me.
It's like, oh,
grab the second bucket. They're using a paint roller.
My arm's getting tired. Sorry.
I don't know how the. It's funny when I say it, Kyle.
That was really funny.
It's just hurtful when others say it.
I'm sorry.
It's funny when Rachel sometimes pulls out the dagger.
Yeah. It's always good when she spikes that ball.
And earlier I'm like, you know who always does that?
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah. That's who I'm thinking of. No. Amy minus Chris had a topic on today with Hancock and Kelly about whether men should be allowed to wear shorts. Now, I will say I don't know whether the question was at work or in general. In general, I think that's clearly yes. Men should be allowed to wear shorts. So let's just take the at work part. But I found it to be an interesting conversation. Should it, even on a casual day, should men be allowed to wear shorts?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, especially here.
It does depend on the place. I'd say if you're having a day in court, probably not a great idea. If you're a lawyer, you know, I mean, there are places where you're like, maybe not the greatest idea, but like just your average general workplace, why not? Why not? What's so offensive about knees and calves?
Show a little leg. You know, the girls get to do it. We can wear dresses or. When we first moved into this building and they told us to stop wearing shorts to work, do you remember that?
Yeah.
I thought that was weird because it's like, you're not banning skirts, just shorts. So like
sexist
for a lady. Yeah. But it's like, even for a lady, it's like, why is it okay for me to show my bare legs in a skirt?
Yeah.
The shorts are actually more modest.
Yes.
I don't know.
Just interesting.
I've always found that, like, again, it really does depend on the place that we're talking about. But I think dress codes are old-timey and not really necessary. I don't think they accomplish what you think they do. You're not going to be a better worker because the bottom third of your legs are covered.
I will say the big exception for me is I do want my Congress people to be dressed
fair. Yeah.
Nicely. Like the Fetterman thing actually drives me insane.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like you're in this prestigious position and you look like you're going down to the bodega to get a coffee. Like,
what about a boss at a company? Should they be on a different standard?
No.
I think it depends on the job. But yeah, I mean, if you're working at like Home Depot or something, like I don't see why you wouldn't be able to wear shorts.
What about here? I know you've said it disappoints you when Steve Moore wears them.
When he wears shorts, yeah. I do complain to HR every time that happens.
Well, he's HR.
Which is weird because he is the HR
it's
guy.
him, and then it's really awkward.
I'm here to file a complaint against Stephen Moore.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings. The perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
You know Graybar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better, because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Graybar does that.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Celebrate Independence Day with a free concert by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America. July 2nd, 7 p.m. at Logan University in Chesterfield, showcasing patriotic music and more. Get free tickets at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Coming up at the top of the hour, Sue Thomas, Sue at 2 is going to join us. Going to do some Throwback Thursday. Going to do some Battle of the Halfwits. Should be fun. Should be a fun hour. Make sure you're with us for that. Alvin Reed's in studio at 3. Ricky Horton at 4. So pretty busy show. You guys ever seen The Nervous System?
like a
outside of the
there's
human
a,
body.
There's a science center where they have it just kind of in a glass.
Yes.
That's how I feel all the time when I look at that thing. I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Just a bundle of nerves.
It's your fault. Yeah, if you've never seen it, Google it because it is something crazy and it is undeniable. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about whether we have a soul, but I will say that if you think your soul is in your pinky finger, you're wrong because you can lose a pinky finger and you're still you. But basically, you are the nervous system. Everything else is structural, which is freaky. It just houses it. Everything that we experience comes through those little wires.
Yeah.
Just weird. I was also thinking this is very existential in the zony, but Wheels, you and I are both into space and cosmology, and they found this, and what about that? Simulation theory and all that kind of thing. And I believe this is true, that the reason we have anything is that at the Big Bang, there were tiny, tiny fluctuations in energy, and those coalesced into planets, galaxies, stars, us, tiny fluctuations. So if you think about it, we are all just distinct fluctuations in energy being hosted by matter. Kyle, that just blow you away?
Blown away in
You're
here.
going to be okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be all right.
Feel free to use that tonight in the booth. Pass it off as your own. Just be like, Claibs, let me run something by you.
Let me drop some knowledge
Let
real
me
quick.
just drop something on you. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. Right? I'm just a distinct fluctuation of energy. That's what I am.
Sure.
Hosted by matter.
Mm-hmm. It's got to fit somewhere.
This doesn't seem to impress anyone.
Well, no, I think saying it out loud.
Kyle rolled his eyes.
Yes, saying it out loud.
Kyle, don't flip him off.
Makes it
That's
seem weirder than it
disrespectful.
is.
Say that again?
I said, I think saying it out loud makes it seem weirder than it is.
Yes. Like seeing that nervous system.
Like that's exactly what a computer is, right? Like there's energy, there's electricity, there's information being stored digitally, but it's just being housed by computer chips and plastic and a TV screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Rachel, what's your analogy?
It's like
It's like
Just going back
it's
to the
like
bald
crazy,
thing.
man. It's like, dude.
It's like, whoa.
I really am like hanging out with your stoned friend.
It's like, if you're here and I'm here, doesn't it make it our time?
Dude, have you ever seen your nervous system? Looks like an alien.
Kyle's over like, yeah, all right, yeah, saw that.
Alien. Yeah. Alien. Yeah. Okay, I thought that'd go better than it did. But,
It's I have a lot of things going through my mind. Are any of them worth saying? I'm not sure.
Well, it didn't stop me.
Did you see on that on the similar note of figuring things out and spacey stuff? Did you see we've actually photographed an exoplanet?
I saw your story about it. I've not
That
seen the actual
first
story.
time in human history we have an actual photograph of an actual exoplanet, because everything before is just reading the light waves that come off of it and being able to identify what that matter is based on the way the light is.
Yeah.
So it's the Webb telescope has taken a photograph where you can see the exoplanet in the ring around a sun.
Wow.
And it's not great. I mean, it's, you don't see a whole lot, but it's still
you see a blob.
the first time human beings have ever photographed an exoplanet. And they think it's about the size of Saturn. But that's just, come on. How far away is that? How do we get photos from that far away?
If we've been around for 200,000 or 300,000 years, and 300 years ago, we were still putting people in jail who said that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. And here we are photographing exoplanets.
I mean, the photo itself doesn't blow you away. If you Google it and look at it, you're going to be like, it's a dot. It doesn't look like much of anything. But the fact that from the distance that this is, I mean, we're talking thousands of light years away, that you can take a photograph is just nuts.
It blows me away that the whole reason we have made this quantum leap in knowledge is just super smart people with original thoughts like this. You ever thought that we're just quantum fluctuations being...
I mean, I think you maybe nailed it.
Thanks.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, and finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. It's been more than 60 years since St. Louis was hit by a tornado of the scale we're witnessing. The Salvation Army has been in St. Louis providing relief for over 160 years and responded immediately following the latest round of storms. How can you help? The Salvation Army needs monetary donations so that needs can be addressed immediately. And as we look to long-term recovery, 100% of donations go directly to storm survivors. Donate at salarmy.us/mid-disaster or call 1-800-SAL-ARMY.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. Buying your brand new Buick or GMC has never been easier. Here at Suntrup Buick GMC, our family-owned and operated dealership has been proudly servicing St. Charles County for over 30 years by always providing aggressive pricing, a massive inventory selection, and exceptional customer service. Buying from Suntrup means you get the best vehicle at the best price. Visit Suntrup Buick GMC today or visit us online at suntrupbuickgmc.com and save more at Suntrup Buick GMC.
Bill Walmsley interviews Chad and Lisa.
This property, for you to have done what you've done, won the award, changed it around, done all the rehab, has got to be worth a lot more.
We purchased for $8.275 and it's worth $19 million now. So
wait, whoa. That is incredible. I can see why you won an award, and that's great.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007 for a $297 membership. Save $443 off the regular price. Text radio to 88007.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including overall excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got isolated thunderstorms. It is 86 degrees downtown at the Arch, and all of the rain falling in some spots pretty heavily has led to a flood advisory. It's in effect until 4:45 this afternoon. And we've got Madison County as well as in Missouri, the city of St. Louis, St. Charles County, and St. Louis County again till 4:45. We've got between 1 and 2 inches of rain that have fallen already. Some of the locations that should be aware include Florissant, Granite City, Alton, Hazelwood, Collinsville, Edwardsville, Ferguson, Godfrey, Overland, Glen Carbon, Bellefontaine, Neighbors, Troy, Bethalto, and Blackjack.
CBS News special report. A divided Supreme Court ruled today individual judges lack the authority to grant nationwide injunctions. The Trump administration celebrated the news. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
These injunctions have allowed district court judges to be emperors. They vetoed all of President Trump's power.
The decision does leave unclear the fate of the president's restrictions on birthright citizenship. Here's correspondent Natalie Brand.
The justices did not rule on birthright citizenship protected by the Constitution's 14th Amendment. But President Trump, hailing the decision as a monumental victory, said the administration plans to move forward with his executive order.
In a wide-ranging news conference after the Supreme Court's decision, the president was asked about Iran and whether he thinks it will attempt to rebuild its nuclear program.
I don't believe that they're going to go back into nuclear anytime soon.
CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
Domestic policy legislation dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill. Does Missouri U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt thinks it's still realistic to get it to the president's desk by the 4th of July?
I do. I don't think that whatever happens in the next day or so with a redrafting of language will push us beyond the sort of the weekend window. We're all committed to being here over the weekend, whether that's Saturday or Sunday, which still gives the House time to be able to act.
Schmidt emphasizes on CNN that provisions like no taxes on tips or overtime and the extension of tax cuts. He says Republicans are trying to figure out how to word language on Medicaid cuts so it could pass with a simple majority vote. The St. Louis Board of Aldermen putting the wheels in motion to jumpstart the redevelopment of the Millennium Hotel.
This building has been vacant for years.
The bill gives the hotel developers a 90% abatement for 20 years. Sponsor Alderman Rasheen Aldridge says while on the surface this might seem like it's costing the city money, it actually generates more revenue for St. Louis.
Right now, the building is not operating. So if they're not operating, they're not paying their taxes, and people aren't renting. Since it's a hotel, there's also a hotel tax fee that we're not collecting.
Aldermanic President Megan Green says construction is ready to go once this bill is passed. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The St. Louis Slam have wrapped up another perfect regular season, headed into the playoffs tomorrow night. Taylor Hay has been with the women's tackle football team for 15 years and says they're gunning for another national championship.
5 total.
5, so going for your 6th.
Yep. We're trying, yes.
The Slam take on the Nebraska Pride tomorrow night at St. Mary's Southside Catholic High School. The KMOX Business Desk, Washington University's Department of Medicine is cutting back, likely in response to federal funding rollbacks. St. Louis Magazine reports that staff are being told to ground all travel that's not for essential purposes and no food for any on-campus meetings or seminars. SLM reports it's an effort to prevent staffing layoffs and to preserve research. The Dow from Stifel's up 212 points to 43,598.
All eyes on a very, very slow-moving cool front that's going to take several days to even attempt to get into the St. Louis area. So we really have more of the same as we go through our Friday afternoon, partly sunny, hot, and humid. But there will be a little bit of an uptick in isolated to scattered thunderstorms. They're what we call pulse-type storms. They fire up, they do their thing, and then they dry out. But they can bring some heavy downpours of rain and some lightning. So we need to kind of pay attention to it. We'll see them just kind of floating around our neighborhood. 94 for the high. I want to stress, not everybody's going to see a thunderstorm. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, couple of thunderstorms around 75. The weekend, no real change. Saturday, partly sunny skies. It's hot, it's humid. Couple of thunderstorms around 93. Do that again on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX. We've got some thunderstorms in the region. It's 86 downtown at the Arch. Again, that flood advisory is in effect until 4:45. Want to pass along a crash on 6440 going east at Olive. That's got the 2 right lanes closed. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Terrace Senior Living of Eureka. Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Friday. Kind of a weird day out there. Evidently, some people getting a ton of rain, just torrential rain and flooding and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of cloudy and breezy down here at KMOX. Not bad at all, though I can see some blue skies out west. It is Sue at 2 with Sue Thomas. We do Sue at 2 on Fridays. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Dave.
You checking out the radar there?
Well, yeah, I wanted to see where they got all that rain.
Yeah, I'm a radar guy, too.
Yeah, I really. It's weird.
You can put it in motion.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay.
I like the predictive radar. I like the current radar. I like what's happened. I wish they'd go back farther and show me what happened back further.
You ever watch the Weather Channel?
Not in a long time.
Yeah, I watch it every now and then.
I feel like I don't need it anymore.
I don't need
got
it.
my
I
own
just
radar.
I like to see what's going on in Oregon. Like
Okay,
I just like
that's
I don't
fair.
know. I don't know why.
You can make this bigger and look at the whole U.S.
Heard that before.
I don't watch or
So-
listen to anything but Dave
Alright.
Murray.
Oh, Yeah, me too.
What a kiss off! What a kiss off! Wow. By the way, before you got here, my friends
Oh, no.
were making
on.
fun of me.
Dave.
Hold
and
on.
one of them said, "You should rent out your forehead for advertising."
No, it's
I
not
don't
how
know.
it
That
started.
cannot possibly be
It
true.
started with me saying I should do that because I have a big forehead.
And then he
Okay.
did this. He saw me and he goes, "Oh, yours is way, way bigger than mine. You could get so much more money for
That
yours
wasn't what I was talking
because your
about.
head's so giant."
I bet there's a kernel of truth in that.
Then Rach said the most hurtful thing.
What did she say?
I don't remember, but it really,
I was going to say, I don't remember what I said
You
either.
got a good one.
it really
It's like
stuck.
just slid that stiletto in there real
Oh,
quick.
yeah. We were talking about how we would apply the messages, and I said you would need a paint roller, and she said it would make your arm tired.
Oh my god!
And then I immediately said sorry.
Yes.
Which evidently allows you to say anything you want in this room.
Well, I mean, it's the same as saying with all due respect. As long as you say that,
Don't take
everything's
this the wrong way.
right,
No
right,
offense,
right,
but
no
my arm
offense.
would get super tired.
I don't have that sort of upper body strength.
My arm's tired.
So if there's any physical flaw that you may have, just
Prepare for it.
prepare for it.
Exaggerated. Okay.
Yes. It's the mean kids.
Okay.
Yeah, but I started it by being mean to myself, and then it got away. But I think
that
Dave,
doesn't help. See.
I think Dave helped it get away, though.
It's fun when you say it yourself.
Yeah.
That's good times. When
And then your
other
friends are
people-
supposed to jump in and be like, no.
No, you
You-
have a great
Your forehead. I didn't even see your forehead. It's
Yeah.
so little.
God forbid you cover that up with black marker.
You know, you have a 3 head. It's not that.
If someone
It's
wasted
a
their
4.
money advertising on your forehead, no one would ever see the slogan of their business.
And Nick has been pushing me to let my hair grow just to see how screwed up it would look.
Okay.
So last weekend I hadn't shaved it Thursday or Friday, and I didn't shave it until Monday.
And
I looked exactly like Baby Yoda.
oh my, that's a compliment. Some people think that's cute.
He is cute.
He's very adorable.
I haven't looked at his hair to understand. I'm not a Baby Yoda
There's
viewer.
like 79 1-inch hairs that just stand straight up.
No.
So,
Okay.
hey, I did something special.
What?
I put together my own Battle of the Half-Wits with questions that
Oh, I
Dave,
love
Dave
Battle
knows.
of the Half-Wits.
Shall we play?
Yeah, let's play.
Wheels, you know how to play this?
I think we've done this.
Wait, you're gonna have to remind me
Yeah,
because
no
it's
problem.
been years.
So I'm going to give you a question. You buzz in with your name.
Ah, yeah.
Or in Trish Gazelle's case, you just say bloop. And she told me what she said. She can't think of 2 things at once. We just had this conversation last week.
Mhm.
And she said, I can't think of 2 things at once. And so if it is, what was the name of the dirigible that crash landed? And I know it's the Hindenburg. I can't think of Trish and the Hindenburg.
That's interesting.
So she just said bloop.
Well, it works.
Yeah.
You always know who it is.
She knows her limitations.
Yeah.
Like me in my head. Okay. So I put it out there. You jump in. You have control of the board. You can either answer the question.
Gotcha.
Or you can boof, which means you send it to someone else.
Right.
Okay. Then in the second round is a double boof. They can send it back
All
to
right.
you. Okay. Here we go. Again, these are questions Dave knew, so they can't be all that hard. The Black Death from the 1300s was actually technically what?
Rachel.
What was the disease? Yes.
Ebola?
Nope.
Wheeler.
Wheel.
Bubonic plague.
Bubonic plague.
Oh,
Dang.
nice.
Nicely done. You have 5. Rach has -5. We all know the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
Who is it purchased from?
Oh.
Wheeler.
Yes.
The French.
The French.
Did you hear me say that's as far as I've gotten so far? I'm not good at this game.
Speaking of France, I don't know why I said speaking. Speaking of France, the French sculptor Frederic Bartholdi sculpted what for the United States?
Rachel.
Wheeler.
Rach.
Damn it.
Statue of Liberty.
Very good.
Nice.
Back to 0.
It's the only thing they ever sculpted for us.
This female was credited with founding modern nursing.
Rachel.
Yes.
Florence Nightingale.
Oh, I was going to say Florence Henderson.
Florence Henderson.
I'm giving you 5 points for that.
Oh
That's
my
funny.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's good. Who invented the cotton gin?
Rachel.
Oh,
Eli Whitney.
Dang it.
you go, Rachel. She's
Thanks,
on a
Sue.
tear. I love
I
it.
had nothing.
All I'm hearing is zzz. Okay.
When we came over from England, the first permanent settlement was called what?
Rachel.
Mhm.
Jamestown.
Oh, Rachel, you go, girl.
Jonestown.
We're witnessing
Jonestown.
some greatness here, aren't we?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
this is
are.
domination is what it is.
Within 2, what year did World War I begin?
Within 2.
Within 2 years.
Wheeler.
Yes.
1938.
Nope.
Oh.
You say World War I or
World War I.
Oh.
Oh,
I think
thought
you
you
said two.
Did I say 2?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Then start it over again. 1.
All right, 1925.
No.
Soup.
Yes.
1918.
No.
1912.
1914.
Ah.
What's
I
it
love
feel
having
like?
Sue here. She's like clapping for me. It feels
I don't know. I think it's
incredible.
great.
It feels so good.
Who is the only American president who's also a licensed bartender?
Ah.
Nobody?
Mm-mm.
No
Sue.
boof?
I'm going to boof to Wheeler.
All right.
Wheels.
Who was the drunkest? I'm just going to go with an old timey. I bet it was Teddy Roosevelt.
Honest Abe.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't think he had anything to do with alcohol for some
Yeah.
reason.
Thought he just killed
Entertainment
vampires.
questions. Who is Johnny Carson's sidekick?
Sue.
Yes.
Ed McMahon.
Yes.
Nice.
You are up to 15. You are tied with Wheels, and Rach is only 5 ahead of you at 20. Who played Doogie Howser?
Rachel.
Oh,
Neil Patrick Harris.
man, that's a good
I gotta have
memory.
3 names.
If you're just joining us, we're playing Halfwits with Sue Thomas from 97.1. Who did Johnny Depp model Captain Jack Sparrow after?
Wheeler.
Yes.
It is after Keith Richards.
Very good.
Oh, that's a good one.
Very good. Jim Carrey made his name on what comedy sketch show?
Wheeler.
Mhm.
And Live in Color. Fire Marshal Bob.
Tied with
Wait,
Rach.
Bill. Fire Marshal Bill.
Can't read my own writing.
I can't remember anything.
Did you like how did you gather these questions, Dave?
Thought of stuff I knew.
He's like, what
Rachel
stuff is in there?
Cautiously approaches.
Yeah, well, because you
When
don't
we're
want to
setting
ask
it,
the
when we're
wrong.
setting at lunch.
Tapped into those waves of
Okay.
energy.
What Oscar winner was on a kids program called Electric Company?
Sue.
Sue.
Oh, I can see him in my head. He's got the great voice.
Good enough.
Thank you.
Morgan Freeman.
Thank you, Morgan
There you
Freeman.
go.
Mystic Pizza was the launching for this pretty woman.
Sue.
Yes.
Julia Roberts.
You like how I said that?
Yes,
that was cute.
really great.
That was like a Jeopardy clue. That was good.
Sue, look at this. What's that called? 3-way tie.
Oh my gosh, it sure is.
Ooh.
25. Anna, Elsa, Olaf.
Wheeler. Frozen.
Nice work.
Rach double clutched on that one. She knew it, but she
I can't
wasn't
see her
sure
over the screen.
what question was coming. Oh, wait a minute.
You got a whole other
Is
page?
that it?
Is
No.
that all of it?
I think that's all me questions.
Oh my god.
Hold on.
Okay.
All right, now we're switching to Dave specific trivia.
Yes. What's in my pocket? For real, that's it. What's in my pocket?
I'm gonna guess some jelly beans.
Nope.
Oh.
Some show prep gummies.
Nope.
Huh.
Oh. Wheeler wins with 35.
Okay.
Did you give me my billfold?
I did.
I got that in my pocket.
I was going to ask, and then I thought it seems too obvious.
I thought you meant like today. I was like, wait.
No, I
well,
do.
you had one. He had one that was terrible, so I got him a
and you
new
got
one.
a new one. All right.
Mhm.
All right.
This one's pretty bad now. I can
Yeah,
just,
bad.
just letting you know.
Okay.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Add some star-spangled style to your summer with Ashley Stars and Stripes sale going on now. Shop Hot Buys for every room in your home, now just $6.99. Plus, you can save up to $1,000 store-wide. And don't miss upgrading your patio. Save up to 20% on select outdoor furniture. Or feel the freedom to buy now and pay over time with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-291-3143. 800-291-3143.
You log into your DSP. It's confusing. Where do you build a campaign? Where's the report? Targeting's vague, CTV's tacked on and overpriced. Then you find Viant. Setup? Just a chat prompt. AI does the rest. Targeting? People-based and precise across premium publishers. Measurement? Transparent, outcome-driven. And CTV? We've led since streaming meant something. Viant is the DSP that actually gets advertising. Still trading on a desk? Visit Viant.ai to unlock real results today.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Friday. Looks like the sky's getting a little bluer, at least downtown. Maybe got a bunch of rain where you are. They're setting up Pride Fest out there. That is this weekend if you are interested, down by Soldiers Memorial. So, Wheels, it seems like you have bad things to say about the DMV.
I'm not happy about this. I got the card in the mail, and I'll take some of the blame for my outburst of rage yesterday because I didn't read the card. I just saw the part that says you can renew your license plates online. Like, yes. Sit down, go to do it, and I keep getting an error message. And I'm like, there shouldn't be an error message that says I can do this. I put the right numbers in, I put the right code in, and it turns out that part I didn't read was even on a 2-year-old car, you need to get an emissions test. Why do you need to get an emissions test on a 2-year-old car?
Money.
It's
That's
a scam.
exactly
Yes.
right.
And that's when I started getting pissed and throwing things. So I looked it up. What do you guys think the rate of failure is on the emissions test for a 2-year-old car?
Very low.
1%.
0.4%.
Oh, my God.
99.6% of 2-year-old cars pass the emissions test. What are we doing? Why is this a thing?
It's a money grab.
Yes, exactly. It's a scam of some kind. Somebody got something for something. That doesn't make any sense. And by the way, if your car is older than 30 years, you don't have to do any emissions testing. What? You could be billowing smoke out your tailpipe, and you don't have to get tested because it's before. Now, I get it. Emission systems in cars are different, right? I get it. But still, what's going to be dirtier? A 2-year-old car or something built in 1975? 1975 does not need emissions testing. And again, I get it. It's a different engine. It's not going to pass no matter what, even if it's running totally right.
And I
totally understand.
I don't want to see them do this, but if the whole thing is to clear up the environment, then why wouldn't you say cars before a certain time are illegal? If that's what you're trying to do.
And again, I don't want that either. I'm just saying that it's ridiculous that somebody with a car
everything about the DMV is wrong.
My car has more mileage than your typical 2-year-old car. But there are some 2-year-old cars out there that might have 12,000 miles.
Yeah.
Why does that need an emissions test? It's not going to fail.
Why would a modern car with 50,000 need an emissions test?
It's not going to fail. And I think something like 95% of all cars pass emissions tests.
I would love to know who has those contracts, how you get them.
Oh, yeah.
When the whole thing started. We need to have Governor Kehoe on and just tell him you're here for one reason.
Get rid of
You need to get rid of.
I'm all for having them. I'm okay with having them. But there's no way that anything under 4 or 5 years needs an emissions test. I mean, that percentage, 0.4% failure, 99.6% pass, tells you don't need to do it.
I'm pretty sure that DMVs are gifts. In other words, they are assigned
Political
to people.
gifts.
I think they are. Yeah, you can apply to get one, and then people just, the chairs in there.
Yeah. But I mean, this is a state law, right? This is law that this every 2 years you need to get an emissions test, which again, fine at some point. That point should not be when a car is 2 years old because it's not going to fail. It's not. Statistically, it is not going to fail. And then we're spending time and money on that for no reason. There's no benefit. If it's 99.6% pass, there's no benefit to doing this. It's a waste of time and money.
Well, I agree.
Good. I'm glad it's not just me being angry.
No, I don't know that I'd throw things.
I did. I knocked my chair over.
Okay.
Here or at home?
At home.
Oh.
I was like, because it's just that moment where you're like, you got to be kidding me. And here I was thinking I was getting something done that's going to be super easy, and I'm just going to pay the 2-year thingy, and then it's like, nope, can't, because your newish car needs to get its emissions test, which it will pass. Of course, we know it's going to pass.
Were you by yourself when you knocked the chair over?
Yes.
That's
Okay, good.
Yes.
Did you feel silly?
No. And at the moment, it felt great. When that chair toppled over, it felt really good.
Would you have knocked the chair over had Susan been there?
Probably not, but I would have hit it. I probably would have held back just a little bit.
That's kind of you.
Yeah.
Just slug it.
She's got her Wheeler sea legs.
Oh, she knows. Yeah. She still hates it, though. Like when I do that, I get a text like, settle down.
Imagine her not enjoying that. I don't know.
Nobody
It's
does.
so crazy.
Come on, nobody does.
Of course, 0 people do.
Nobody does.
You need to not do that.
But hitting that chair felt really good. In that moment, it did make me feel better.
I had to do the emissions last year in 2024, I guess. And I was so mad because I have a newish car. It's a 2016, so it's a 9-year-old car.
I can't believe that car is
I
9
can't
years
either.
old now.
I
I
know.
just
Remember when
went
you
into a
bought it.
time warp.
It's
Same.
almost paid off. I'm
Man.
really excited about it.
Good.
But it was so frustrating because I also tried to renew online and they're like, nope, you have to go to the DMV and you have to have all these papers. And it's like, man, I'm one of the few people in the city of St. Louis who wants to re-up my tags and give you my money. Can't you make this any easier on me?
Nope.
Again, and these are the prices we pay for playing by the rules. How many thousands of people are out there just skipping it all? And they're not getting pulled over and they're not getting tickets because, well, if we try to pull them over, they're just going to run and we're not allowed to chase them anyway.
Yeah.
So you get no benefit for playing by the rules.
It's frustrating.
Especially when it's
Andrew's been riding dirty since 2019.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Oh,
that's not a joke.
I'm going to have to lecture. Not that it'll do anything.
Well, I think he's afraid he won't pass his emissions just to bring this whole thing full circle.
Right.
Wait, Illinois has it as well then?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And every, like, I get at certain points that it needs to be done. I don't know exactly. Maybe we can talk to the people that manufacture cars and people that are experts in how cars function and say at this age, they may start to malfunction more. So at this time, this many miles, we can do it, but it's not 2 years. It's
Right.
not 2 years.
Can
The
you
cars are
imagine
not going to fail.
The next time he gets pulled over, remember the scene from Trains, Planes, and Automobiles? You feel like this vehicle is safe for
There's no door.
I do.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
I would just like to say you guys are awesome. I've just been turned on to this since it's been on 104.1 at the FM dial, and I think you guys make me laugh, and you're informative. I just love you guys' show. You guys are amazing.
The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays at 9 on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Do you know replacing old vinyl windows with more vinyl windows might not be the best choice? Hi, it's Kim, and I'm here to tell you about Infinity from Marvin Windows because these fiberglass windows, they're energy efficient, they're beautiful, and they're custom built to fit your home perfectly. The team at Lakeside Renovation and Design just makes the process so easy. I love the fact that they even offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. Look, if you're tired of drafts, high energy bills, or maybe hard to open windows, now is the time to upgrade. Visit windowsbylakeside.com to schedule your free consultation today.
We sell siding, windows, doors, and decking by the truckload. My name is Julius Krasanik, celebrating 53 years in this business. Our company is Wholesale Siding Depot, and our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, door, and decking knowledge. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
the brands that we sell are durable, maintenance-free, and energy-saving. Featuring Anderson, CertainTeed, Viwinco, Provia, Masonite, TimberTech, and others, offering the best selection of styles and colors available in this industry. And better yet, our prices are wholesale every day. Last, our Peace of Mind initiative also includes a free contractor referral service to take care of your installation concerns or needs. You are just one click away from keeping it local, family, and professional. Please visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
Dave Murray's forecast is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This is National Cancer Survivor Awareness Month, and we are joined by Dr. Lindsay Peterson.
They're emotional needs, they are financial needs, they are physical needs, spiritual needs. So really, we have to look to address all of these different areas because they can be quite impactful for patients throughout their journey.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work? Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
Tonight, the Cards, the Guardians. Hamlin Total Access 515. Cardinals Radio. 1041 FM KMOX.
Our segment with Bernie is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Dicon Comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. This is chill. I just pulled a Clarence Thomas, just found a hair on my microphone, and I have no hair. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. I know it wasn't you.
Yeah.
Had too much forehead for that. Bernie Miklasz joins us. Hello, Bern.
What's going on, everyone?
Not too much. Susan at Tucson, Sue at 2. Sue Thomas is here with us. So say hello to Sue.
Hi.
All right. Hi, Sue.
Hiya, Bernie.
So, Bern, Wheeler tells me you did an excellent overview of the first half of the season. Can you kind of share some of those thoughts and impressions?
Oh, man, I had a lot in there. I think basically, we should be happy through the first 81 games. Cardinals exceeded expectations, projections. That's the bottom line. The other thing, their offense has been much better than expected. I mean, the numbers bear that out. The starting pitching, I believe, is very underrated and quite solid. And they don't have the strikeout punch, but they've got everything else you're looking for: low walk rate, low home run rate. They do a great job of locating their pitches, not giving hitters meatballs to slam. So I think they're and they also rank in the top 4 or 5 in innings pitched, and they rank in the top 4 and 5 as far as innings per start. So I really come to appreciate just how good this rotation is. And most people won't look at it as good because everyone's obsessed with strikeouts.
Hey, Bern, can I stop you right there? We have we have a weather emergency here.
Sure.
Michael Calhoun will be right back with Bernie Miklasz after this. Michael?
Not a tornado. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's for Calhoun County and Jersey County and Madison County in Illinois and Lincoln County and St. Charles County in Missouri until 3:15. Severe thunderstorm near Grafton, 11 miles to the north of St. Charles, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and hail. The damage with this: Pere Marquette State Park, I-70 near exit 203, and towns including O'Fallon, Wentzville, Alton, Godfrey, Troy, and Jerseyville. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning: Calhoun, Jersey, Madison, Lincoln, St. Charles counties until 3:15.
Okay, that was Michael Calhoun from the newsroom. Bernie, back to you.
Yeah, so I was saying, I think their starting pitching solid and underrated, and I have an appreciation for pitching. There's a lot of throwers, but you can actually not have a huge strikeout rate, and you can still be very effective. Of course, if your defense is doing a job and you have some decent luck along the way, you can maintain that. So, I mean, I think it's kind of, I like the fact that the Cardinals, listen, if you don't have strikeout pitchers, you still have to find a way to have a good pitching staff. And they've done that. I think Marmol and Dusty Blake deserve a lot of credit. The defense is good. I don't know that it's great, but it's good. There's been some slippage lately. I think that they've done a good job beating up on teams. Like I did a real quick study about how have the Cardinals done against the worst 7 teams in the major leagues? And we're talking about really, really bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals are 12-3. And the Cardinals against top 10 teams, they're about 500, which is fine. So listen, we can nitpick, we can wish for more consistency. They're going to have to do a much better job against left-handed pitching. That has become a real issue because they don't have the right-handed bats, especially with Herrera out, to make left-handers pay. But all in all, I mean, it was a good first 81 games. Now they're going to have to build on it over the final 81 games, and that didn't start off so well yesterday. But I like this team, and I like they go away about their business. I think they play with joy. I think they play with intensity. It's a loose club in a good way. They have fun. I think it's important to have fun, especially if you're a young team, as long as you're serious about playing ball, and they're serious about playing ball.
Bern, is there anyone or anything that you're a little out on, any approach that the Cardinals have taken, or any player that you're a little bit like, I don't know so much anymore?
Well, I touched on it. The Cardinals, left-handed starting pitching is starting to wear them down because their right-handed hitters aren't very good against, and they don't have enough right-handed bats. Like, let me just give you a stat. For the first month of the season, left-handed starting pitchers had a 5.45 ERA against the Cardinals. Second month, it was 4.50. This month, it's 3.70. And they're just getting overmatched. And this is not an overreaction to what Matthew Boyd and Shota Imanaga did. It's not. They've been getting shut down by left-handed pitchers a lot. This is nothing new. To their credit, they've also beaten some good left-handed starters. But as the season goes on, this is more and more of an issue because Jordan Walker, who was supposed to be one of the right-handed bats to counter left-handed pitching, he's horrendous against left-handed pitching. He doesn't have. There's guys like Mason Wynn have not hit left-handers very well. They don't have Herrera now. I could go on, but that is one weakness that could hurt them over the final 80 games is what it is now. And I also see a team that, in my opinion, needs help in terms of left-handed relief because the month of June has been awful for Matz and for John King. And I think that's become a liability. And I think that might be one area that they're going to look at before the trade deadline.
Bern, so when Matt Pauley and I talked about the left-handed thing last night a little bit, and that you don't have, especially with Herrera out, you don't have the right-handed thunder to really counter it as well. I mean, Arenado's giving you tough at bats and some big hits, but he's not the guy that he used to be. So you basically have one guy at the moment in Contreras that's kind of your dangerous righty because Wynn's been struggling and he's not getting any time off. And I don't know if that's why he's struggling, if he's wearing out at all. But I know that he's not had a great month of June. So I'm still in on the guy. It's not that. It's just that that's right. It's to your point about dealing with lefties. So is this a time of year, in your opinion, where you're going to be less worried about Thomas Saggesi's individual player development and more concerned about what you need at the major league level, and that his right-handed bat could help counter that, at least even if it's at the bottom third of the order?
It could help, and it's a small sample, and I have to say he doesn't have good numbers against left-handed pitching.
Not in the majors, no.
But that's pretty small sample size. But the other thing I look at too, I don't know where we're with Herrera out. I really don't know. Like, who is it you could add from the outside? I don't see any magic solutions.
Nope.
And I tell you another thing that's happened, and this is going under the radar. Nobody talks about it. Brendan Donovan, and I love Brendan Donovan. Believe me, I love Brendan Donovan. But his last 28 games, numbers are terrible.
Yep.
And he has not done well as a leadoff man either. So I worry about some of that stuff too. Lars Nootbaar, they're going to need him to be really, really good. When he hits a home run or he drives in a run or he scores a run, he gets on base a couple times a game, that offense can't be stopped. He's the engine of that offense. But we've seen that offense shut down when he's not very good. And so far, through the first 81 games, his numbers this season are down from where they were in his first 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to be a consistent hitter for them.
Let me ask you guys, we have a 9-game trip coming up. When that is over, finishing up with the Cubs over July 4th weekend, I don't mean how close to the trade deadline are we, like in number of days. How close are we to decision time at the end of this away?
I don't know. I think it'll be, Kevin, I don't know about you, man. I think it'll be going into the All-Star break, because then they have 2 home series after this road trip. They play the Nationals and they play the Braves. I think the All-Star break is when a lot of teams will really start to dig in hard and pursue whatever they're going to try to pursue.
I don't know if this is a hot take, and you can feel free to tell me I'm full of it, because obviously we have that kind of relationship, Bern. But I think the plan should be set already. They should buy and sell at the same time. They have too many of some things and not enough of other things, and I think the plan should be to move some of the depth that you have, particularly in the middle infield, and particularly the guys that play second base, third base, left field. And that should be used to fill in where you need some help. Maybe a right-handed hitting outfielder. Certainly that lefty for the bullpen would be on the top of the list too. And I don't know that it fits perfectly, like you trade one specifically for the other, but maybe it's you trade some things for kids and then you trade some other kids or those kids to get the things you need. I don't know that they should have to pick. I think they should be doing both this year.
Well, it sounds good in theory.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
But how? No, it does.
You're right.
I like don't disagree with
it's
what
hard
you
to do.
But it's really going to be hard to pull off. And then, by the other thing, like, who's going to thin the herd? We know what their problem is. They got too many middle infielders.
Yep.
But does that mean what? You're going to trade Nolan Gorman?
Tough call.
No. You're going to trade Wynn? No. You're going to trade Donovan? No. Gorman has been one of their best hitters over the last month.
Yeah.
And what? So now's the time to trade him? I don't think so.
No, that's why it's so hard, because maybe the answer is trading eventually Newt, but he's not doing well enough to get you what you would want, right? You don't want to just give him away. And then it comes down to the big existential question. Do you want to extend Donovan, or do you want to use him at a high value because he would be incredibly valuable to another team, ideally an American League team, because you don't have to face him in the National League before that. But I don't think anybody wants to do that. I don't want to do that.
Well, I think when Chaim Bloom takes over, and one of my, I tell you what my overall preference is to just get through the rest of the season. Maybe you pick up, 1 or 2 pieces that can help you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start thinking these big picture things, to your point about, you can trade some assets, but also get better in the assets you receive back. I think that's more of an off-season thing. And I want Chaim Bloom to make those decisions, not John Mozeliak.
Can I run something by you guys? So as a fan who has the privilege of being in on these conversations with you guys, I go to a lot of games. I'm a pretty friendly guy. I talk to the people around me. I've heard it 12 times if I've heard it once from people at the game. So they're in saying, we don't have any stars. We need a star. And when Pete Crow Armstrong was in, I was talking to some Cubs fans and they said the same thing. You guys need a PCA. You guys need an Ohtani. You need a Soto.
Kyle Tucker.
I know you don't have $700 million, but what do you think of that? Strictly to appeal to the middle crowd and put butts in the seats, not to make it even that much better.
They don't have a star.
No.
I mean, and I'm not trying to disrespect Brendan Donovan, let's say, or even Mason Wynn. They're not stars. Not in the global sense,
Right.
not in the Major League Baseball sense. They're stars on this team, which is more of a reflection on the talent that's on this team. And this talent, it's actually one of those classic examples where, the sum is, what is it? The sum greater than the parts, or the other way around?
It's one of
anyway.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can JJ Weatherholt be a star? I mean, he's close. I think he can be a star. I think some of the pitchers in development can be a star. I think Libator can be a star. I think Libator is their best starting pitcher, and he's only going to get better. So, but no, they don't. For a franchise that has nothing, that for about 25, well, during the Bill DeWitt era, really 30 years, just like a parade of stars, one after
Yeah,
another,
yeah.
after another, after another. And it's like, well, where have all the stars gone? Like Arenado is a star, but he's also a star in the twilight of his career, so it's
Right.
not the same. He's not a peak,
Not a
not
peak
a
star.
peak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know where I agree with John Mozeliak has been giving some interviews where he's talking about, hey, I think ownership understands we need stars and they're prepared to do what they can. And I don't know what that means exactly, but he's predicting they're going to pursue a star. They need a star.
Yeah. I mean, they've acknowledged they've almost I don't want to say
Sure.
almost, they've said it out loud. It's why they got Goldschmidt. It's why they got Arenado. They know they need those
Right.
guys.
I've talked to Bill about it real quick a lot of times. Bill DeWitt Jr. And he has always said, listen, the Cardinals through the decades have always had star players, and Bill believes that that's a big part of their tradition, and he wants to maintain that. Now with Goldschmidt gone, some of the younger guys not developing the stars, they're going to have to figure out a way to do that.
Good to know. I'm for it too. Tell us about Saliga, Burn.
Yeah, Saliga Heating and Cooling is a Daikin comfort dealer, and they've been around, doing this, taking beautiful care of St. Louis families since 1927. We're one of those families. They have been tremendous for us when we have an emergency or just a minor problem or something where we don't know if it's a problem. You call Saliga at 314-481-7333 and help is on the way. And I've said this before, but I think it just bears repeating. In our 16, 17 years of dealing with Saliga Heating and Cooling, I can absolutely swear 100% in terms of their integrity, their professionalism, the class when they come in your home, their knowledge of the business. I mean, they can solve any problems. And what we really, really appreciate them, we don't know much about heating and cooling. They could take advantage of us or anyone else, but they don't do it. They'll give us cheaper solutions to solve a problem rather than recommending the most expensive solution to the problem. That says a lot about their integrity. So we're big fans here. One other thing is I think it's really important to have your stuff checked a couple times a year. Saliga Heating and Cooling's got a priority club. It's a maintenance program. It's going to save you money because the maintenance checks extend the life of your current equipment. Plus you get priority scheduling and some other perks. So if you want to find out about this great family business and how they can help you, go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. That's SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Two legendary bands, one epic night. Collective Soul and Live are bringing the rock to St. Louis. Catch their summer Unity tour at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater July 17th with special guest Braylon James Rue. Don't miss your chance to hear such hits as Shine, December, I Alone, and All Over You. Collective Soul and Live. Tickets can be found at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Let me take this 60 seconds to tell you how it works at Dr. Maupin's office with BioBalance Health. Let's say that you have been intrigued about my live endorsements about getting the testosterone pellets for the past 6 years, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're 38 or 68. You contact them through the website, biobalancehealth.com. You fill out a little application. They will set you up to take a blood test. About 10 days later, they'll reach out to you, set an appointment, go in. You talk with Dr. Kathy Maupin personally, usually. She's done about 10,000 of these. It's not just what is your number for testosterone. I could read it and say it's below 500 or above 500. She's going to look at every single thing. She'll look at your endocrine system. She'll look at the diabetes or pre-diabetes. If she does think that you're a candidate, then you'll get scheduled for your first insertion. It's not bad. I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to things like this. They numb you up. So like one shot in your upper butt doesn't really hurt because I don't like shots. And then you have an awkward conversation for about 5 or 10 minutes while they put the pellets inside you. They just put gauze over it and tape. There are no stitches, nothing like that. I've never bruised. I've never had anything whatsoever. Once you walk out that door, a little ice pack, and then you're good for 6 months for men, 4 months for ladies. Next door is BioBalance Skin, where they do things like Botox and chemical peels and M-Sculpt and just everything to make your face look younger than it actually is. That's biobalancehealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Every year, almost 30,000 babies in America are born with birth injuries. It's every parent's worst nightmare. If your child suffered a birth injury, please call our firm to find out if we can help.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 251. Stu Thomas is here with us for Stu at 2. Alvin Reed will be sitting with us coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Flashback Friday?
Yeah, I've got it right here. 196 years ago, in 1829, British scientist James Smithson died and left his entire fortune to the United States in order to establish the Smithsonian Institute.
Hey,
Get out of here.
Love it.
Nicely done. Now, there's a guy. There's a life. Right? That's
Yes.
amazing.
52 years ago, leaping into the future a bit. In 1973, the James Bond movie Live and Let Die was released.
Yes.
Starring Roger Moore as 007 for the very
That was
first
a
time.
Sue Bell, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I like 007.
You like Roger
but
Moore, huh?
I don't
Now
like him that
listen,
more. That
my
much.
favorite is Daniel Craig.
Yes.
Yes.
He cannot be touched. But I remember seeing that one in the theater. For your, would you say it's For Your Eyes Only? Is that the one?
Live and Let Die.
Oh, Live and Let Die. I remember seeing that one, and they mentioned the other one yesterday, which is why I bring up Sheena Easton. I guess it was released in whatever year. And I just remember, it was just so cool to see. Eating my little popcorn, looking at James Bond. And he was kind of funny. He was the funny one, but yeah, I liked it. That's all I'm saying.
39 years ago in 1986, the David Bowie movie Labyrinth was released. Have you guys ever seen this film?
No.
No, I
back
never
in the
have.
day, I saw it. I didn't like it.
It's a weird
Why
one.
did you
I
go to
love that
that?
movie.
I don't think I went to it. I think it was a VHS thing.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one with the monster with the eye in his hand?
Okay.
I don't
That's
remember.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh. So,
Oh, no, this is before that. This is, David Bowie's kind of like a wizard
okay.
or a warlock or something.
Like a wizard.
Nobody's holding an eye. That's good to know.
We should have you do our movie reviews.
I would love it, man. That'd be
I don't
great.
know. David Bowie's a wizard or
Yeah.
something.
31 years ago in 1994, 26-year-old Anna Nicole Smith married 90-year-old billionaire J. Howard Marshall.
Remember how obsessed we were with
Can't
that?
stop
Sue?
love, man.
I do. Because, yeah, you're right.
Not the real thing.
It was love. How quickly after that did he pass away? I don't remember.
It wasn't long.
They were only married for 14 months.
There we go.
He died in August of 1995.
You think he had sex?
I think that's
No,
why he
I
married
mean-
Anna Nicole Smith.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can want all you want when you're 94. I'm not sure Dr. Moffat's helping you out there. You'd have to be more than 50% Viagra. Viagra would have to take you.
So they met when she was a topless dancer in Houston.
Isn't that sweet?
He was going out.
Just
in
keeps
his
getting better.
90s.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a gamer.
All right. 28 years ago in 1997, Disney released Hercules. I saw this movie in the theater at the Jerseyville Stadium Theater.
It was a good. That was a good film.
I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
Wait, is that animated or is it?
It's animated.
Okay. All right.
And 17 years ago in 2008, Pixar released Wall-E. Saw that one in
I
theaters
liked
too.
Wall-E. I thought that was cute.
It is a really cute movie.
I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I don't know why.
So you tried it again?
Well, because I had Phoebe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wasn't just sneak watching Wall-E.
I'm gonna see that again.
Let me
Never saw
try
that
this
one.
for a fourth time. Thank you, Sue, too. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey in studio with Gloria Liu, broker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and St. Louis's real estate expert. Gloria, while most agents make big promises, you're known for your upfront written guarantees.
My name is My Promise. While many agents promise you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business, I'll provide you with an upfront written guarantee stating if I cannot sell your home for 100% of market value, I'll pay you the difference.
Gloria, that's what sets you apart from others and why I recommend you. Folks, why risk working with just any agent when you can work with the best? Gloria Liu guarantees your sale price upfront and in writing.
Absolutely. And if I don't, I will pay you the difference. The agent you choose in this changing market matters and could cost you or make you thousands.
Sell your home with certainty, confidence, and for 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old entry door too. It's Cash for Clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free, in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Did you know that McKelvey builds custom homes on individual sites throughout the metropolitan area? We have sites in prime locations from Rock Hill to Wildwood, including several in the coveted Ladue School District. Experience why many have chosen McKelvey Homes with our legendary quality and personalized service to build their dream home. Visit our newly completed Turnberry at 19 Beaver Drive, just north of Ladue and east of Lindbergh. It is loaded with features and now open. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock right now, downtown at the Arch, it's a cloudy sky and 83 degrees. And the National Weather Service says that the severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for St. Charles County and Lincoln County. It does remain in effect until 3:15 for southeastern Calhoun, Jersey, and northwestern Madison counties in southwestern Illinois. This hour's news is sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. President Trump is revisiting his tough stance with Canada when it comes to trade tariffs. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest from the White House.
President Trump says he is immediately suspending trade talks with Canada over plans to tax U.S. technology firms through what is known as a digital services fee. The president calls this, quote, a direct and blatant attack on our country. Canada's tax is set to take effect on Monday. It would impose a 3% levy on companies like Amazon, Google, and Airbnb and would apply retroactively.
In a 6-3 decision, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed a group of Maryland parents could opt their children out of classes that discuss gender identity and sexual orientation. CBS News Justice Correspondent Scott McFarland.
This 135-page opinion included cover shots or page illustrations of some of those books, saying that the school system has to give parents some latitude, some ability to pull their kids out of things with which they don't agree. But this decision was one that was somewhat expected when we saw the numbers. It was 6-3. The conservatives on the court were going to win the day here, and the conservatives during oral arguments in this case made clear they had concerns about this policy in Montgomery County, Maryland schools.
Pride Fest is known as a party, but Jordan Braxton with Pride St. Louis notes it began as a protest and says it now feels like one again.
Our rights as human beings, whether it be health rights, reproductive rights, trans rights, human rights is what we're basically marching for, because all our rights are under attack right now.
This is the 45th year for Pride in St. Louis. How are police approaching the 4th of July following last year's chaotic scene downtown?
What you're hearing is some of the downtown chaos last 4th of July as juveniles shot fireworks at buildings and each other. In Keener Plaza, fireworks eventually escalated to firearms with 7 shots. St. Louis City Police Chief Robert Tracy says this year they will do things differently.
I talked about last year. We will take a good look at where some of the breach points were, what are some of the things that we can do better. And yes, we are adjusting.
However, exactly what would be different this year, Chief Tracy would not say, only hinting at a noticeably different approach to entry and exit points. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
More on a story we brought you earlier this week. Planning to grill some burgers this weekend? We've told you the average price of a pound of ground beef is high. CNBC today reported that cattle futures are also at record highs. Brian Sullivan and Kelly Evans discussed.
Beef Magazine. Who knew there was something called Beef Magazine? Says the bullish move is because the demand for beef is rising at the same time that fewer cattle are being, shall we say, culled for meat. So get ready. You have many mouths to feed.
I gave up on
spend
grilling.
more on burgers.
Well, do you know it's exhausting cooking out?
Could Circle K and 7-Eleven combine? Their parent companies have been talking about it. The CEO of the Canadian owner of Circle K said yesterday he thinks a merger would get regulatory approval. 7-Eleven's parent company is in Japan, but an analyst at Stifel in St. Louis says Circle K should back off and focus on improving its own operations. And Martin Landry in the Wall Street Journal writes investors generally are growing restless of big deals that don't come to fruition. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now with Stifel's Scott Link. Scott?
Thank you, Michael. After setting all-time highs for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ earlier today, President Trump's announcement that he has halted trade talks with Canada paired those gains, with the Dow Jones rising 432 points to 43,819. The S&P 500 was up 32 to 6,173. The NASDAQ finished up 105 to 20,273. And the Bloomberg St. Louis Index was up 14 to 1,591. For stocks of local interest, the biggest gainers today were Boeing up $11.97 to $214.55. And Build-A-Bear Workshop was up $1.71 to $54.13. And the leading decliners were Edgewell Personal Care off 33 cents to $23.25. And Spire fell 79 cents to $72.89. Finally, Stifel Financial was up 53 cents to $103.68. This has been Scott Link, Senior Vice President of Investments at Stifel, member SIPC, New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
Got a crash on 44 going west just past the business loop at Six Flags. That's been on the right shoulder. Clear to crash on 70 East at I-170. Stalled vehicle 55 southbound before Butler Hill on the right shoulder.
All eyes on a very,
very slow-moving cool front that's going to take several days to even attempt to get into the St. Louis area. So we really have more of the same as we go through our Friday afternoon, partly sunny, hot, and humid. But there will be a little bit of an uptick in isolated to scattered thunderstorms. They're what we call pulse-type storms. They fire up, they do their thing, and then they dry out. But they can bring some heavy downpours of rain and some lightning. So we need to kind of pay attention to it. We'll see them just kind of floating around our neighborhood. 94 for the high. I want to stress, not everybody's going to see a thunderstorm. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, a couple of thunderstorms around 75. The weekend, no real change. Saturday, partly sunny skies. It's hot, it's humid. Couple of thunderstorms around 93. Do that again on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It is a cloudy sky downtown at the Arch. Right now, 83 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Celebrate Independence Day with a free concert by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America. July 2nd, 7 p.m. at Logan University in Chesterfield, showcasing patriotic music and more. Get free tickets at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Friday to you. Look a little dark out there again, looking out west. Did you run into rain, Alvin Reed?
I know it stopped raining by the time I came out of the office.
Okay.
I could hear it on the roof. Sounded like it was coming out pretty good.
Yeah,
there
some
for a
places
while.
got like an inch and a half, 2 inches.
All right, because I did not. It started after I was in the office, and it ended after I had before I left the office.
How was Donnybrook last night?
I was all right. I was back in my regular chair. That was nice. Charlie is back, and regular Thursday
You
for
ever
the
have
first
bad
time.
shows? Like last Wednesday, I had a crap show.
I have had shows where I just like.
Just don't got it.
I was waiting to say something, and then once I got to the point, just move on, kind of. And so just one of those.
It just happens.
It just happens sometimes.
It just happens. You just got to move on.
Yep.
So one of the topics you guys took on was the new police board, which, Rach, I know you had a story on there. So why don't you do your story, and then Alvin can take it wherever he wants to.
Well, I think the big story is the fact that Don Brown from Don Brown Chevrolet does millions of dollars worth of business with the city of St. Louis, particularly with the police department. Sean Malone from our newsroom has been reporting on this and put an article up on KMOX.com for anyone who would like to check that out. And he's a non-voting member of the board, but a lot of people are still saying this presents a conflict of interest.
And I would agree with that. And in that, this is also your representative that does not live in the city, which was enabled by the law that was passed. And I guess he had added a comment to the original story that he would recuse himself from any discussions about purchases of vehicles. And I'm thinking, like, Don, that ain't enough, man.
That's step one.
Yeah. Sonia Jenkins-Gray, when she got fired by, for whatever the crazy reasons were in her behavior, she put forth a GoFundMe account, and the St. Louis Police Officers Association gave her $500.
Wow.
Yeah. It's as I said on the show, it's like, it's like the police department got to pick their commissioners, and the governor, signed off on it. Now they have to be approved. They have to be by the Senate, and that doesn't happen until January. So a lot can change between now and then.
So for you, is it just the appearance of impropriety? It just doesn't pass the smell test?
That's pretty large. You do millions of dollars of business, and there's, not counting the mayor slot, there's 4 slots and a non-voting one, and a person that does that much business with not just the city, with the police department. Yeah. I got a little bit of problem with that.
I've seen a lot of feedback on social media of people saying like a lot of people in the city of St. Louis didn't want this board in the first place. Then when you put together the board, it just doesn't look good when you make a choice like this that, you know, it does appear to be a pretty big conflict of interest.
Yeah.
It just doesn't help the situation at all.
And I went to the press conference on Monday, and you were told that the commissioners were not going to answer questions and they were not going to speak. And the word transparency was used probably if once 5 times by the governor. And that's, well, that they were transparent and that you could see him standing there. That was it.
What do you make of no African-American representation?
Well, from the north side, you know, you got Sonia Jenkins Gray, who's black, but you have nobody, you know, that lives on the north side. The governor said Chris Artiega grew up in Baden, you know, and I'm kind of thinking like, well, my mom grew up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You know, that was a long time ago. And he's obviously younger than my mom is, but that doesn't have any credence to what's going on, especially now in the north side, seeing that, you know, after all the destruction and, you know, at some point, you know, there will be a police, when I say a police presence, I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean, there's just so much that need to be done in North St. Louis.
Yeah.
And so, that's a problem. You know, I was one who was against it. I don't live in the city. If I'd had a vote in it and from the city, I would have voted to keep it in the city's hands. And then when you name a board like this, it's just really kind of a thumb nose to, you know, and that just doesn't break down by racial lines. You know, there are a lot of, you know, white St. Louisans that just assume not have the state running the city's police department. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Wheels, any thoughts?
No, not really. I mean, I think whenever possible, we should be doing everything we can to eliminate any potential question, even if you don't think it's a real problem. Like, just don't put the thought in people's heads, because now that board is going to be operating from a negative from the beginning for a lot of people looking at it. They didn't want it to begin with. And then you're putting people on it that either don't live in the city or have potential conflicts. And again, even if it's not going to be a conflict, even if there's going to be total upfront honesty about how it's going to go, that thought is still in the minds of people that didn't want this to begin with, and you're not going to be able to overcome that. So I feel like there should be easier ways around these kinds of problems, just to avoid the problem, which then gives your authority, which gives you the people that are going to be there just a little bit better of a head start and maybe a little bit more trust.
Right. And you know, it's general discussion now, but at some point, this board, if it, you know, the lawsuits fail and they actually do take control, I mean, sooner or later, something bad's going to happen. And they're going to have to be the board that decides what are we going to do now that something bad has happened. And, you know, it's then is when all these conflicts and all that are going to say like, well, of course you came to that decision because, you know, you're in the police officer's pocket. And that's an unfair, you know, assumption in that it hasn't happened yet. But once it has happened and people don't like the outcome of what this board comes up with, that's the first thing that's going to be said.
Anybody on Donnybrook taking the opposing view last night?
Not really last night. You know, Joe Holloman, you know, give him a chance. We don't know. And I said, that's fine. It's fine. As I said, I know Eddie. I mean, I'm in Eddie's places. I think Eddie's a good guy. I don't think he should be on the police board, but I'm not casting aspersion on any individual, but I'm just saying as a group, this was, I think the governor could have done way better than he did. Let's put it that way.
We're friends with Chris Saraceno, who I think is an exemplary human being. I don't know much about his qualifications for this, but I would put him on the Dave Glover board. You know what I mean? Like I trust him. But yeah, it seems like overall the makeup just a little bit of a fail.
Alvin, do you know how the board was selected? Like, do you know if any of these people applied or if it was just the governor making picks?
The governor said they had many, many, many applications to choose from. Now, if somebody wanted me to be on the police board, they said, we're going to nominate you. That counts as nomination. That doesn't necessarily mean I went out of my way to fill out or to contact the governor's office or something like that. So, yeah, but he said he had many, many, many applications, which once again, if you had many, many, many applications, this is what you came up with. You chose these people for a reason. I just can't. No one was better than this group. If you got many, many, many applications, That's why I say, even when you say that, that even makes it sound like, well, then you just chose these people because of who they were.
What will they have? I mean, like, do they have the power to say we need 100 more officers? Let's do it.
Well, what happens is the state is kind of in control of the budget. And State Senator Carla May was saying one of the first most important things is that the costs are going to have to be covered by the state.
The city.
Oh, no,
by
she's saying by the state.
I got you.
Okay, now
the
that
cost increase.
Yeah, now that you're in control, and this board says we're going to hire 100 more police officers, and we're going to pay them all this much as a starting salary, and guarantee 10% raises for every police officer over the next 2 years. Well, that's all fine and dandy. You can vote to do that. If the city's budget can't withstand that, and right now, like, can it not? Because sooner or later, the ARPA, the RAMS money, all this other stuff is gone. It's pretty much gone now. Then who's going to pay for it? So, yeah, they could come out with all kind of great and grand decisions, but, Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General, he would, I guess, be the person to decide, let's say there's questionable shooting, who releases the body cam? Does this board press him to say, we want that, video released immediately? Or do they stand by and whatever he says, we're not releasing that? And, that really creates a situation. What's the board going to say? It's like, no, Attorney General Bailey, we have got to get that out there and let the people of St. Louis see it and make their own decisions. So it's not going to be a fun job at some point.
At some point.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
And I hope they realize that that this could really be messy at times. This is not just going to make a speech how much you support the police department, and those of us that were opposed to the board, most majority, overwhelming, support the police department. Got no problem with the police. People want to make it you hate the police or you love the police. That doesn't have anything to do with it. And so thus, I just hope, the lady and gentleman understand that sooner or later, you're going to be in like a situation where it doesn't matter, you're a great restaurateur and great friend to the city, or great this, or friendly, and people like you, and all, it's not going to matter, because it's going to be some potentially ugly decisions that have to be made. And you might completely either hack off your police brethren or some sector of the city.
Or both.
And that's a good point. That's an excellent point, Dave. That's you're going to be between a rock and a hard place.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH, or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KMOX News Time is 3:19. The National Weather Service has just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Madison, Monroe, and St. Clair counties in Illinois, and Jefferson, St. Louis County, and St. Louis City in Missouri. It's until 3:45. The severe thunderstorms along a line over Warson Woods, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour, include 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, could have hail. 44 and 55 drivers also be aware. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Madison, Monroe, and St. Clair in Illinois, and Jefferson, St. Louis County, and St. Louis City in Missouri until 3:45.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll be answering these questions and more through weekly conversations with the smartest minds out there. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Grede, an Odyssey podcast, available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-388-6607, 800-388-6607, 800-388-6607.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings, the perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Nobody leaves their phone more than Alvin Reed.
Facts.
I mean, no one in the country.
You just called it.
I know, because we were walking out together, and he said he took his wife's sunglasses this morning. She's going to be mad. She's probably listening right now. I just outed him. And I said, well, you're always taking something or leaving something. You leave that phone every time. He goes, I know it. And he was walking out to his car as I said it.
And then he was like, dang it.
He got outside and realized he left his phone again.
I'm a mess right now, you guys.
You okay?
What'd you do?
Well, I just lost my pen. It fell on the floor and it seems to have like rolled into hell or something. I don't know where it went.
Is it a special pen?
I mean, it's the pen I use every day. It's
That's
become
special.
a special pen because of how much it's been used.
Yeah.
And then earlier you handed me that dry erase marker, Dave.
Yeah.
And I tossed it onto the counter back there.
And
then it rolled behind the counter and got stuck. And then when I was trying to get it, it just fully fell down.
Hide your pens.
We
onto the
will
floor.
we will find your pen, friend. Reed.
Yes, we will.
Search party on the break.
Wheeler can just move that enormous table for
I'll
you.
just lift it up for you.
Lift it up for me.
There you go.
Fast food news?
Yeah, I've got some good fast food stories for you. We're going to start out at Buffalo Wild Wings. They have added bottomless apps for a limited time. And they announced this on Wednesday, last Wednesday, actually. The bottomless apps start at $9.99. If you have a party of 5 or more, there's going to be an additional upcharge. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
But you can get endless rounds of 2 appetizers at a time, including mozzarella sticks, onion rings, fried pickles, queso, and chips and salsa.
It's okay. Let's say that the three of us or the four of us go
Mhm.
and we want to get 2 apps and them be bottomless. So that's $9.99 per?
I think per person,
Wow.
yes.
Oh, per person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not such a great deal.
I mean, if it's bottomless, though.
Yeah, but they're banking. You know the whole like Chinese buffet thing, right?
Yeah.
That most people only eat $2.80 worth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I make up for the rest.
Yeah. I used to, boy.
Buffalo Wild Wings is not the only restaurant doing bottomless apps. Applebee's is now doing all-you-can-eat boneless wings, chicken tenders, and riblets for a limited time. This is for $15.99, but you're getting a lot more protein with this deal, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And you have a choice of 8 sauces.
Who are your favorite wings?
Ooh, good question. I do like a Hooters wing if we're talking chain restaurants like that.
Wingstop.
No cap.
Yep.
Yeah,
Of the
Wingstop
chains,
is pretty
Wingstop's
good,
my
too.
spot.
Agreed.
Best
Very
fries.
good. Seamus McDaniels has great ones.
Yeah.
Weber's Front Row Grill. I think they may have
Yeah.
closed. I hope they didn't, but in Webster, they have great ones.
A lot of local places have great
Yes.
ones.
Yes.
Right. Like just bars and restaurants just have great wings.
Jeff Fitter at his place, Case and Buck, just
Yeah.
had great ones.
Those were awesome.
Little kick to them.
Just a little.
Let's see. Red Lobster has introduced seafood boils as a part of its Crab Fest event. Have you guys seen like any of this on social media or
No.
anything? So there's different seafood boils you can get. This is not really my type of thing, nor
Me
is it what
either.
it's not what I want from Red Lobster.
It's not what I want from seafood.
Oh, really?
No. I don't like boiled corn with boiled potatoes.
It's pretty good
with
if you
boiled
season it up,
shrimp.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. And it's like you eat it out of a bag.
Yeah, they dump it on a
It'd
table.
be really fun if we like went to Kevin's house and he made that for us. It'd be like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. But like going to Red Lobster, I want like the shrimp scampi and like a
Agreed.
linguine
Agreed.
cheesy
Hey, can I give
something.
a shout out to our Zolas?
Absolutely.
So my understanding is one of my all-time favorites, Chewy's in Dogtown. This is the family that Wales was telling me that they closed in 2008, which seems impossible that it's been that long. And the family opened up our Zolas, which is in Benton Park, basically Jefferson and Lynch Street. And Nick and I went there last night, and it was tremendous. Tremendous.
Nice.
True Tex-Mex.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Let's do another fast food news story here. Arby's has introduced a new Angus cheese steak. And that started earlier this week. It's a quarter pound of seasoned, thinly shaved, 100% Angus steak topped with melted white American cheese, onions, roasted peppers, and a savory garlic spread, all served on a toasted sub.
Still never had it.
Arby's.
I'll pick it up for lunch sometime.
Okay.
There's one close to me, and I'll
Yeah,
just
there's
get
some
us a
good
bunch
stuff.
of beef and cheddars.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Mhm.
Onion roll.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet, and I say it every time, but how do you not? Been with me for, it'll be 25 years this November. That has to be some sort of a record because he's been with me every week of every month of every year of every decade for the past 25 years of my career. That's thousands at this point. My best guess would be 3, 4, 5,000 people from the DGS have been to Mike. He's great. They all do it the Michael way. And he told me in probably year 2 that he's like, look, I tell my people, if you ask where someone is from, if they're from the DGS, you don't let them out the door without making a great sale. You offer them whatever they need, bend over backwards because Dave has been so good to me. So use that to your advantage with Mike. 3 locations around town, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronchi, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
We welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
you want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. Progressive is here for all of life's needs with protection for your home, auto, business, and more. From timely repairs to customizable coverages and payment options, we make it easy. See if you can save at progressive.com.
It's Trish. Your bathroom might be small, but fixing it can feel huge. Outdated fixtures, the tub that's seen better days. At Michael's Bath, they specialize in affordable bathroom remodeling that fits your budget and your lifestyle. Whether you want a walk-in shower, better storage, or a fresh modern look, they make it simple, clean, and budget-friendly. No surprises, no gimmicks, just quality workmanship you can trust. Call Michael's Best today for your free, no-pressure estimate, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbest.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.